kind of have a mess going on here and a lot of things, but I am making baked beans that will be shelf stable after they're pressure canned. So I have already, what did I do? I boiled those beans. They're the Great Northern beans, and they look like this. They've been in this is a half-gallon jar. They've been in here since November 2020, and they're vacuum sealed. They would totally stay safe in these jars for years and years, dried like this, but I'm trying to cycle through some things and make sure that I'm using them before I buy more. And so I'm making baked beans tonight that will go on the shelf. The beans are in this pot, and then the sauce is here, and then I am adding some onions, which are right there. I'm going to be doing them in pint-sized jars because there's only the two of us home. So we could always open up 2 jars if we wanted to, but the pint size is just perfect. And then when we get done putting them in the jars, they're going to go in a pressure canner. I don't know if you can see all the way over here. There's my pressure canner, and this is an All-American 921. So this has 2 gauges. So it has a weighted gauge that sits on there, and this jiggles when it's at the right pressure, and then it also has a gauge that you can read. So with the locking mechanism, so the lid doesn't blow off. These like lock on there and make it safe. So this is a low acid item, and it always has to be pressure canned. This is my funnel. So I kind of squeezed out a little bit of the bean liquid out of there. So I'm going to fill these about 3/4 of the way full. And then I'm going to add just some onions in that. I probably should have kept the funnel on. So this is about as full as I'm going to fill it. And then I'm going to put the liquid in it. Everything's hot. The jars are hot, the beans are hot, the liquid's hot. Okay. So this tool is called a debubbler, and on this end it has measurements on it. So I know that we want this to go to the inch mark, which is normally on most jars this lid right here, this rim right here, and I want to make sure that there's no bubbles in there. So that's what I was doing. And then if I was measuring this, if I was new to canning and measuring this, this is the 1 inch mark, this little ladder part. Can you see that on the other end of that? And you just go around and make sure that you have no food. It should be just touching. Ooh, that's hot. It should be just touching right there, because those beans are going to keep cooking. That is really hot. Those beans are going to keep cooking and expanding a little bit while they're in the pressure canner. Let me grab a paper towel. And then you always, there's vinegar in this bowl, and you always wipe the rim. And I have lids here. That's a lid, and this is a ring. I'm gonna grab a towel to hold this because it's super hot. So just fingertip tight. So you don't want to crank it on there, just fingertip tight. And then this is the baked beans. They will go into the pressure canner after I get them all filled up, and they will cook for, I think it's 75 minutes. I gotta double check that time. Anyways, that's what I'm doing tonight. So again, I'm just draining out the water because I don't want the boiling water in there. I want the molasses water. I'm going to fill it up around 3/4 of the way. Just gonna pop those back in there. I'm going to add some onions. These onions will always float to the top. And then I'm going to put this back on to add the liquid. If you notice, I do this inside a casserole pan. That way I know that everything just stays sanitized and it's clean and all the good things. Okay, no bubbles in there. Sometimes it'll change the liquid level a little bit when you get the bubbles out, so I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more. Wiping that rim down. Thought it was like a perfect time to can baked beans that we'll have them for the summer. It's hot. I'm just gonna tighten it. I set it over there. Somebody asked if I sanitized the jars. Yeah, I washed them and sanitized them. They're sitting here. I am pressure canning, so you don't necessarily have to sanitize them, but I still do. So with water bath, you absolutely do. Pressure canning, you don't always, but yes, they're sanitized. They're sitting here. Everything's sanitized because that's how I am. So I'll just do one more jar. So baked beans are going to go in the pressure canner. I'll do one more, and then I'm going to jump off of here and finish. So I'm left-handed, so everything feels backwards to me. So I'm putting the beans in the jar. These are Great Northern beans that I had in my long-term pantry items, and I just wanted to rotate them to make sure that I was using them, and then I can buy some more and get them on the shelf. And I'm adding a little bit of onion to each one, and then liquid. I'm gonna Debubble it again. Wipe the rim, the lid, the ring. I burn my hand while I'm holding it. There you go. So this is going to go into the pressure canner, and then it'll be shelf stable after I pressure can it. That 8 cups of beans made 14 pints of baked beans. So this is a cold can from last night. You see I removed the ring. I'll be wiping the sock and writing what it is, and it's shelf stable now for like 2-ish years. And you'll notice that I never store my canned items with the rings on the shelves. They always have the rings off. That way I know that they're properly sealed. There's nothing growing inside of them and making the lid pop off. So it's just so much safer to take the ring off and keep it on the shelf this way. I had extra of the liquid left from last night, so I ended up saving this in the refrigerator last night and decided to make a whole nother batch. So anyways, have a good day. I hope you're having a great weekend, and we will see you soon.